Hey guys, I'm David Abiraj from 40 Health and Performance. Today we're just going to run through a little bit of a series of exercises that focus on muscle activation, joint mobility and stretching that you can do at your desk. We'll run through a few of them with the band. However, any of the banded exercises that you see you can do without a band. So we're going to start from the ground, work our way through the hip, up into the spine and neck. So the first part are going to be some hip and lower limb dominant exercises. We're going to throw the band around our feet, sitting up nice and tall at the edge of the chair, making sure that our torso is still engaged. We want to get some core activation and bracing here. Just hands on the edge of the chair. From here, what we're going to do is some hip flexion marching. So bringing that up, holding for about 3 seconds, and just alternating legs. What we're aiming for here is to get some activation through the hip flexors, just getting them to switch on. When we're sitting at our desk all day, these muscles are staying short, however, they're not activating very much. So we just want to get some activation through there. From here, we're going to do some lateral step overs. So again, lifting up, stepping over the gate and down, and bringing it back. Making sure this movement is nice and controlled. We want to make sure that the rest of our body and leg are staying pretty immobile, and we're just focusing movement around that hip. Again, doing about 8 to 10 each side, really opening those hips up. The next one is just taking the band, or again, if there's no band, that's fine. Sitting up nice and tall, locking in, and we're just going to do some knee extensions. Again, just getting some muscle activation through the quads there. Sticking to about 8 to 10 each side. Alright, from there we're going to move up into the spine. Most of us sitting at our desk, staring at a screen all day, our body stiffens up, there's no movement here. Our spine likes to move in all different planes, rotation, flexion, extension. When we're staring at the screen, it's always stuck in one position. So I'm going to do a side-on view of this, but just imagine I'm sitting here facing my screen. Again, sitting up nice and tall, well stacked. This is called an archer stretch, which we can do on the ground. What I want you to imagine is you're holding a bow and arrow out in front of you. With one side, you're going to pull the string right back, try to reach back and touch the opposite wall. Coming through, reaching back. Another variation of this you can do is another variation of the archer stretch. From here, pulling over the top, all the way through to the back. And again, we want to do both sides. 5 or 6 passes each side. If you're a bit short on space, another way to work the rotation, hands behind the neck, sitting up tall, trying to twist through here. Legs are staying planted, pelvis is staying neutral. The next thing for spine is we want to work through some flexion extension. There's a lot of negative connotations when it comes to flexing the spine. However, in controlled movements, a bit of flexion, a bit of extension is going to be great. So again, from side on, we're going to do what's called an inchworm or a curl down. So chin down to chest. Imagine each segment as I go is going to flex. I'm going to roll myself down, try to get down to the ground. Then I'm going to roll myself back up into a seated position. Tucking the chin, rolling down, controlling it back up. Nothing too fast here. Now moving up into the neck. Again, a very common thing we see in clinic, particularly people working in an office setting, is this constant sort of headache, stiff neck and upper traps, shoulders are really tight, we're stuck in this position all day. So we want to encourage some controlled movement through the neck. The first thing we're going to do is work on some activation. So what we're going to be doing here is some isometric contractions. We want to get these muscles working. When we're just stuck in this position all day, the muscles don't get to contract and relax. So sitting up nice and tall, just tucking the chin down a little bit. I'm going to apply some force with my hand laterally against my neck, and I'm just going to match that force. So I'm trying not to let anything move. I'm staying nice and neutral. I'm still bracing through the middle here. So we go from the right, from the left, forward, back, and then into rotation. So I'm going to apply pressure to the side here, and I'm going to try to turn my head against that. We're going to hold each of those for about 15 seconds. The last thing we're going to do is a bit of mobility through the neck. And this is what we call cervical CARS. So CARS stands for controlled articular rotations. And what that means is we're encouraging movement through each of the segment joints in the neck. This has got to be very slow and controlled. As anything fast here, you could overload the joint a little bit and cause a little bit of irritation. So we're going to sit up tall, brace through the belly, chin down. From here we're going to roll around to the right, all the way around into extension, and back through the front. Just working our way through, nice and slow and in control.